This is the old hay baler I bought, and it's a Hayliner 273 New Holland, and the wear blocks are pretty worn on it. So this video is going to demonstrate a do-it-yourself way to do it. I found the around $20 each, and it takes 4 of them. There was a couple of places, but they're pretty hard to find. So this, I used an oak board, and it's supposed to bind the blocks. As you can see, I've removed the linkage here, removing the boat. If you notice, it has a hex head on the end of it. Can't hardly see that when it's underneath there. But by removing that, it frees your forks here to be removed. In order to remove the forks, there's 2 bolts on each side down here that you'll need to take out, and this bar will drop down a little bit, which will allow you to slide this out. As you can see, this wear block is really worn. The bolt's almost sticking through there. So this thing here is made out of a really hard wood. It looks to be laminated of some type. So we're going to make some of this out of an old oak board that I have that's 3/4 inch by 5 3/8 or whatever the 1/6 is. And this is actually 5/8 by 3.5 inches long. So I'm not sure how wide it is. I'm going to have to calculate that to come up with the width on which to cut it. Okay, you can see here where I have the blade set up. I've got the quarter mark just to the inside of the blade. And then this is the oak board, which is 5 5/8 by 3/4, so 1/6. And we're going to cut a couple of pieces of 7-inch board off, and then we're going to strip them. Okay, and I cut the board actually at 7 1/8. That way I'll have, because I'm actually going to cut the 7 inches in half to give them 3.5 inches. Okay, lining up the hose for the block that we have, that's a 1 1/4 inch. I took the old block, put it on top best I could, centered it, put it in a clamp, and then drilled a 1/4 inch hole through here. Actually, I just marked it, drilling through here, didn't go very deep. Then I took this off, took this over to the drill press, used a slightly bigger drill bit to drill out the hole, since it's supposed to be a 1/4 inch, but I think it was a 17/64 that I drilled through here, just a little bit bigger to where the boat would slide. And then on the top side, or the other side, I drilled a 29/64 hole in here for the nut to be seated. And the way I seated the nut is I put the boat through it, put the nut on the end, and then tighten the boat, and it sucked the nut down into the wood, as you can see. And then that way it can mount onto the forks. And now that we have the forks back onto the baler, you can just barely see in there the block, but there's very little play on either the front up here and the back. And before that, there was this would almost hit over here on the metal, so it tightened it up quite a bit.